Hi, welcome back to the channel. This week we're going to create a FM lead in Pigments. I think there's a bit of confusion out there how to FM within Pigments. I would say it's not as obvious as it is in, say, Serum or Vital, but once you understand how to do it, it's actually very simple. So there are two ways, essentially. The first way is if we go into Analog, and you can see that we have 3 oscillators here. Now this method is similar to the Moog or the mini Moog style approach in that it's oscillator 3 that does the modulation. So you can see over to the right here, we have FM and FM on oscillator 1 and 2. So if we turn off 2 for now, then we just focus on 1 and 3, 1 being the carrier and 2 being the modulator. So if we now turn up this knob, we will see oscillator 1 be FM'd. And that is in accordance with oscillator 3. So if I change the waveform of oscillator 3 now to a sine, you can see that the FM on oscillator 1 also changes. Just be sure to keep the volume down at 0 if you don't want to hear oscillator 3, in the same way that you would in Serum or Vital or whatever other FM. So that results in this. Let's turn it down a bit, octave. Let's add a bandpass filter, bandpass 24. Bit of resonance. We can now maybe turn down the pitch of oscillator 3. Let's now assign a random. Let's go with sample and hold. Let's turn up, or let's link the rise and fall. Let's turn them up a bit so it's a bit more gradual, as you can see there. Let's turn on the trigger to clock, and then we can turn the rate. Let's go 16th, and now let's assign that to the cutoff. Let's go into our MIDI here. Let's just randomize. Currently it's all 16ths. Let's change the note length at random. So something like this. We can now go to the effects. Currently we have the delay and reverb on FX A. There's also a reverb on the aux send. Let's turn that one off. And let's now copy the delay, copy FX. We want that to go to FX B1. And then the reverb, copy FX, FX B2. We can turn FX A off. Let's put this on dotted, 1/8 dotted. Bit of ping pong. Then the reverb is already on. Let's turn the wet up. Let's now maybe assign the velocity also. We have that randomized. Let's put that onto cutoff as well to give it a bit more movement. With kick and bass. So that is the first method, just using the analog engine. Quite a simple method. But the other way to do it is using the wavetable and using 2 of the engines here. So let's change this to wavetable. We can change the position of the waveform. You can see that it's constantly variable up here. If we click on this morph button, then we can go instantly between these waveforms. So let's stick with sine. Now if we go to engine 2 and turn that on, Then if you see in this little section in the middle, we have a modulator section. So what we can do is, so currently that is set to a sine wave, and then the depth of that modulation is controlled by this FM dial here. So if we turn this up, the sine in engine 1 will be modulated by the sine in the modulator section here. We can change the pitch of that. We can maybe put in a triangle or a ramp. However, what we can also do, instead of using these fixed waves here, if we click this to the right, we can choose from engine 2. And you can see that this now says grand piano, which is the same as this, grand piano in engine 2. So very similar approach. If we turn the FM up, we are then FMing from engine 2. We can adjust the pitch here also. Or we can go to engine 2 and we can change that to one of the engine types. So we can change it to, let's go Wavetable, basic waveforms. Let's choose something like anyone this would do. And you can see that this is the waveform that we just chose. This bowed double bass, which is here. We can experiment with a few of these. And what is actually very convenient is you don't need to flick constantly back to the engine 2 tab. You can flick directly from wavetable to wavetable from these little arrows here. And then what you can also do, you can adjust the wavetable position by here. So what that is doing, it's adjusting this position here. And you can see that this wavetable knob corresponds to where we just adjusted it previously. So that's exactly the same dial, just linked. So let's add that to a function. Let's go function 1 over here. And let's turn that all the way up. Currently it's a bit too fast. Let's change this to, let's go 4. We don't want to re-trigger. You can see that every note is triggering that because this doesn't go any further than 1/16. So let's turn the re-trigger off to be constant. We can experiment with a few different wavetables. It sounds nice and gritty. Let's keep that one. We see the wavetables being modulated by the function. That's good. Maybe turn the pitch down a bit. We can maybe have a look at the wave folding here. Let's go to the effects. Let's take out some of the lows. Let's go to multi-filter here. Let's put this on a high pass. Maybe FXA, we can add a distortion, turn that on. Sequence is a bit too busy, so let's mute some random notes. And the section I actually wanted it for, if I play back everything with nothing muted, let's play this back and we'll mute the little FM that we had. We have that squelch on the first half of a bar. I wanted then after that, as a call and response kind of thing, I wanted a few notes of FM. So let's get rid of this first half. This one is muted. Let's play this back with that little squelch. Yeah, and then there was another one that I wanted here because we have another little squelch at the end here. So if we duplicate this one and let's play around, I think it would be good if it's about here. Let's randomize that. And now play this back, we have the following. So yeah, quite nice. And obviously an infinite amount of combinations with the wavetables. And then added to that the wavefolding function. So it's really super cool once you understand how it actually works. And as I said, it's not that difficult once you understand the routing. So I hope you enjoyed that and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.